And it's not so much that they're competing with men, but that they are actually fighting their own nature, how they were designed. They were designed to put out. Hello, welcome back to Cultivating Harmony, where I talk about Chinese medicine, Taoist, and metaphysical topics. While today's topic may seem a bit controversial, I want to dive in why it may not be beneficial for women to work a standard 9-to-5 job. I think my channel probably normally scares off the third wave feminists, but I may have caught their attention, so please watch the video in its entirety before commenting. That'll be great. Now, this video isn't a judgment on should women work a 9-to-5 or can women work a 9-to-5. We know that women can do whatever a man does in terms of a career nowadays. But a question that I ask often when I compare and contrast men and women, or yin and yang, in Taoist philosophy or wisdom, masculine is referred to as the sun, and this is one of the most yang things. And the feminine would be referred to as the moon, which is one of the most feminine things. We can observe how the sun rises each day. It rises in the same full-powered capacity each and every single day. The moon, however, does not in fact function this way. Each day the moon rises, a different amount of it is appearing to us than the previous day. I think most of us are familiar with the moon phases, so I don't need to go too much into that, but you get the idea. However, my point is that the masculine or yang has the quality of consistency and stability in its daily energy. The feminine, while she does have a pattern, it would overall, in comparison, be described as more chaotic when compared to the masculine. And chaos is known to be organized as something that is feminine, where order is something that is considered masculine or yang. And this is how nature or God, however you understand things to be, this is how it has created things. So our energies will reflect these descriptions as well. So can a woman work a 9-to-5 job? Absolutely. We know that women do that all the time today and are successful. However, we could make the argument maybe that it is more difficult for a woman to do, or it's harder on a woman's mind and body. Why? Because feminine energy isn't full-powered energy day after day. It kind of waxes and wanes like the moon. And most women who are not on pharmaceuticals pay attention to their energy levels and how they're feeling and are attuned to their physical, mental, psychological, emotional levels will confirm this concept as well. Most women are aware of the fact that they are more tired. They're feeling less energetic or less active and productive during their cycles compared to when maybe their energy levels are peaking around ovulation. So on a day-to-day basis, a woman's energy levels are not really the same. So to expect her to do the same amount of work or in the same pattern or display as a man, being 100% productive day after day after day, month after month, year after year, is going to be more difficult for her to do. And more specifically, it will take a larger toll on her health, mental health and well-being, than it would take a toll on a man showing up to do the same exact thing. And that's why really a typical 9-to-5 job isn't ideal for a woman. And I think really this idea is just starting to kind of be more mainstream and acceptable. You know, women who have taken the more widely accepted career path are sharing that, in fact, after 5, 10, 15, 20 years, however many, they are getting burnt out. And it's not so much that they're competing with men, but that they are actually fighting their own nature, how they were designed. They weren't designed to put out full throttle energy day after day after day. We were meant to kind of wax and wane. And this is really our natural rhythms for women. And really, that's really the entire basis of Chinese medicine and Taoism. Understanding these cycles, learning to work with them instead of against them for better health, longevity, well-being, happiness, and contentment. Fortunately, times are kind of changing, and the next 20 years will actually be more in favor of women. We're entering a fire cycle which is geared towards women of this specific group. But we're already seeing just the beginning of a transition away from the stable 9-to-5 career into a more flexible work from home, picking up gigs when you have the ability or the time to in order to generate income, which overall is better for women and their cycles. Having the option to work more in harmony with your natural cycles, meaning making it work around your energy levels and your productivity, you can then schedule it so that your peak output levels are in sync with what you're working on. And then also being able to take on maybe less work or a lighter load during that kind of downtime period, which is typically around menstruation. And this has never really been available to women since women have started working. And that's also why we're seeing this kind of small niche or mini revolution of stay-at-home moms or housewives online. They're sharing their happiness and contentment with not working, or at least not working typical standard jobs, or earning an income at all. While being a stay-at-home mom or taking care of a house or family is definitely work, it hasn't overall really been esteemed as valuable, worthy, or as important compared to money in Western culture. But we're starting to see cracks in that where women are saying no, and they're coming forward and saying that even though they may not have the monetary value of a career, they are happier, they are healthier. And I think that's a large part in the fact that they're not burning themselves out, trying to fit into this very masculine or yang role or schedule. And really, it's not just careers that are set up leaning towards the masculine or yang. Other institutions such as schooling is really set up the same way. Though it may be more acceptable or common for delineations from the standard schedule, most people still want to take a full course load during the regular school year, where maybe it would be more conducive to the yin or to the feminine to maybe some semesters take more classes, maybe take less classes, take certain seasons off. Having a routine or rhythm that is more in line with feminine energy. And I think most women kind of do this subconsciously in order to simply make things work, right? When your energy is peaking, you naturally want to do more. You want to be more productive, more active, more social. And naturally, when we're kind of around that time of the month, we really want to kind of retreat, rest, reflect, and go inward and relax more when our energy is low. And no matter what you decide to do, everyone can try to practice this to some degree. In any way you can, maybe try editing your schedule or your workloads, whether it be from school, a job, a hobby, working out, things like this. Editing your life to put the bulk of the workload when your energy is peaking, and removing as much responsibility or duties as possible during the times that you should be resting and taking it easier. And I use this technique as well, being a stay-at-home mom with my hobbies, and even, things like exercise and content creation. When you're able to live more in harmony with your own natural cycles, right, this is kind of the first step to how I've talked about in other videos, where you start with the self and then you work on your family, you work on your community, and you can make changes that are positive, but you have to start with the centermost, which is yourself, before you can even start working on those more outer layers. So if you really want to have a big impact positively on the world or society, right, we need to start small and start with ourselves. And actually, this sometimes is the hardest part, right? We have to conduct ourselves appropriately, which means, in harmony with nature's or the universe's cycles. I don't personally ascribe to the whole idea of, we need to fight the patriarchy, because just reflect on this statement itself. Fight. This is such a yang thing, right? This action, it's aggression. This is very yang. And women were not mainly yang, we're yin. So when we bring on too much action or aggression for women, it's much more difficult for us to be at our best. The more we actively try to fight and be aggressive, this isn't how yin succeeds. And we also equate yin and yang to water and fire. Women being water and men being fire. Water doesn't fight, it just flows to the places that are least resistant. And that is how it succeeds. Water doesn't fight, right? It's not aggressive like maybe fire is. So I think for women to really be successful and content, we need to mirror that as well. Instead of fighting the yang systems, institutions, and structures and trying to force them to be more yin friendly, trying to bend them to our will, our way, our rhythms, is really a losing fight in my opinion. I think maybe it would be a better use of our energy for women to simply just exit those systems. completely and not participate, but to flow in our own way with our own cycles, our own rhythms, right? This is much more in line with nature's will and will cause us a lot less stress, I think, overall. Less stress, less burnout, less emotional issues, distress overall. Trying to jam a square peg into a round hole is the story, as old as time. It's never going to work. So like water, we need to learn to flow. And with time, we will see that the more water that gathers with this flow, the more of us who are able to start it and join it, it will naturally create its own space, its own riverbed, if you will. It's laying the path for women going forward, which is a gift for our daughters and women who will come after us. So if you'd like to share how this resonated or not with you, please let me know below in the comments. And if you'd like to work with me one-on-one with your own rhythms and routines in order to find more harmony in your life, check the description for my details. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you next time.